Welcome, Seeker. Come closer, sit by the fire. You've been quiet lately. I see the shadows moving behind your eyes, and they are not the shadows of the forest. They are shadows of your own making. You feel that deep, cold ache in your stomach, that stiffness in your shoulders when you think about stepping out into the light. That is not fear of failure, little one. That is the fear of the becoming. It is the deepest, most subtle anxiety that humans carry. The terror of fully embracing the immense, blinding light of your own potential. I know this fear well. Every great soul, every shaman who has stepped into their true power has wrestled with this particular beast. Let me tell you a story about the village of Ashwood and the young woman who carried the greatest potential and the deepest dread. Her name was Lyra. Lyra was gifted. Her touch could soothe a fever, her voice could silence the harshest storm, and when she focused her mind, the forest seemed to bend to listen. The elders knew she was destined to be the keeper of the great song, the spiritual backbone of our people. But Lyra never used her power fully. She spent her days tending to the smallest tasks, carefully concealing her abilities behind meticulous routines. When anyone praised her, she would shrink, physically drawing inward as if trying to fold her entire potential into a tight, invisible knot. She was not afraid of failing. She was afraid of succeeding. She was terrified of the responsibility, the change, and the isolation that true, undeniable power would bring. Do you see the irony, little one? We spend so much energy trying to chase what we lack, yet we expend even more energy suppressing the brilliance we already possess. One year, the village suffered a silence, not a silence of peace, but a spiritual deafness. The forest was lush, the harvest was good, but the people felt numb. They stopped laughing, they stopped singing, and their eyes held a vacant, faraway look. It was a malaise known as the soul's slow fade. The elders determined that the only cure lay in performing the ritual of the shifting sands, a powerful ceremony that required a soul of immense, unlocked spiritual potential to serve as the conduit. It required Lyra. The elders approached her, their faces grave. Lyra listened, her eyes wide, but the cold dread that was already a permanent resident in her chest now began to thrash violently.
Lyra, you are the only one. Your light is necessary. The village is fading. Young woman. Voice. No, elder. I am not ready. Send Kai. He is far braver than I. I might break the song. I might make the fade worse.
She was deflecting, as always, pushing the responsibility onto someone else. But the elder, wise in the ways of the heart, knew her true struggle. Now pause and listen closely, Seeker. This moment is the point where the path diverges for every person who hears this story. If you feel the resonance of Lyra's struggle in your own life, the quiet sabotage that keeps you small, I invite you to pause and commit to this journey with us. Please take a moment now. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe to our channel. By joining our circle, you ensure that these ancient stories of liberation and power continue to be heard by those who need them most. Turn on the notifications so you never miss the guidance waiting for you. And now, for your thoughts. Think about the last time you consciously held yourself back from something great. What was the exact lie you told yourself to justify staying small? Share your answer in the comments below. The elder looked at Lyra not with judgment but with profound sadness. He understood that Lyra was trapped by her own projected future. When she imagined stepping into her power, she saw the demands, the scrutiny, the fear of losing her small, safe life, and she saw only the beast of the becoming. This beast is not a monster that lives in the shadows, little one. It lives inside the future you are afraid to create. It is the imagined consequence of your own success. Lyra saw the beast as a terrifying, multi-headed creature. One head was unrelenting expectation, another was permanent isolation, and the third was the inevitable fall. She finally accepted the ritual, but only because the alternative, the fading of her entire people, was worse than her own fear. The night of the ritual, Lyra stood alone in the heart of the sacred grove. The air was thick with moonlight and the scent of sage. The drummers began the slow, rhythmic beat that guides the soul. As the rhythm deepened, Lyra felt her spirit descend into the lower world, seeking the necessary tools for the ritual. But she did not find the tools. She found the beast of the becoming. It was colossal, a shimmering black creature woven from pure anxiety. It didn't roar, it whispered, its voice sounding exactly like Lyra's own internal monologue, magnified 1,000 times.
Look at this power, Lyra. It is too bright. You will blind them. You will set the forest on fire with your truth. Go back to your small tasks. They love you now because you are safe. If you become truly powerful, they will hate you for reminding them of their own cowardice.
The beast pointed its many heads at a shimmering, invisible wall of future scrutiny. This wall represented every critical eye, every future demand, every expectation she would face once her power was known. The fear was paralyzing. Lyra collapsed. She realized that every time she held back a healing touch, every time she whispered instead of singing the great song, she was offering a sacrifice to this beast, feeding it with her unlived potential.
I can't do it. I will fail them. I will look foolish.
Just then, from behind the beast, a figure emerged. It was not a spirit guide, but the spirit of Tarek, her ancestor, a wise old woman who had struggled with the same beast generations ago.
Stop fighting the beast, child. It is made of smoke.
Tarek explained the truth. The beast of the becoming is only visible when you look forward with the eyes of the past. The beast existed only because Lyra was using old, insufficient tools. Self-doubt, perfectionism, fear of judgment, to approach a boundless future energy. You must stop trying to shrink the future to fit the size of your current comfort zone, the ancestor said, her voice gentle but firm. You cannot control how others react to your power. That is not your burden. Your only burden is to honor the truth you carry. Lyra stood up, shaking. The beast loomed over her, its whispers growing louder. Too much. Too much. Retreat. Lyra then did the one thing that shattered the illusion. She looked at the beast not with fear, but with unconditional self-acceptance. She acknowledged that the expectation was real, the demands would come, and yes, she might sometimes fall. She accepted her imperfection as a permanent, non-negotiable part of her immense power.
I see you. You are the shadow of the fire I refuse to extinguish. I may fail, but I will not hide.
As she spoke the words of truth and acceptance, the beast did not vanish. It transformed. The colossal, shadowy figure folded inward, collapsing into a tiny, contained, shimmering seed of caution. The seed of caution was not an enemy. It was a tool. It was the necessary fear that keeps a shaman humble and mindful, reminding her of the responsibility of her gift, but no longer paralyzing her potential. Lyra reached out and picked up the seed. In her hands, it was warm and familiar. It was her own capacity for prudence, redeemed and repurposed. She returned to the middle world, the seed of caution held tight in her closed fist. The drummers reached a crescendo. Lyra opened her eyes and the air around her cracked with pure, unadulterated energy. She began to sing the great song. It was not flawless. Her voice wavered slightly on the high notes. Her movements were not perfectly graceful. But the song was infused with something far more powerful than perfection: unconditional authenticity. The moment she accepted her flaws, her fear, her uncertainty as part of the song, her potential was unleashed. The spiritual deafness that plagued Ashwood vanished. The villagers looked up, tears streaming down their faces, feeling the song for the first time in months. The crisis was averted not through flawless performance, but through radical self-honesty. Lyra never hid her power again. She still carried the seed of caution, but now it served as a grounding stone, a reminder that courage is not the absence of fear, but the acceptance of fear while moving forward anyway. She became the keeper of the great song, not because she was the strongest, but because she was the most honest about her own vulnerability. So, little seeker, I ask you, do you carry the beast of the becoming? Is your fear not of failure, but of the blinding light of your own necessary truth? The great secret of the shamans is this: your potential is not a prize you must earn. It is a river flowing through you that you must choose to unblock. Stop fighting the future with the insecurities of the past. Accept the inevitable, glorious messiness of your becoming. Your unique gift is desperately needed, flaws and all. Go now, little one. The fire awaits. The world is waiting for the honest version of your song.